Today I am doing a 2028 general election prediction between former Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg and current Vice President of the United States J.D. Vance. Starting off, I would like to go over what both candidates have going for and against them. J.D. Vance, what he has going for him and against him is the same. Trump. J.D. Vance is basically Trump 2.0, and I think Trump is very unpopular right now, and in 2020, I think that'll be even more so. So J.D. Vance isn't in the strongest position starting off, but Pete Buttigieg, starting off with his weaknesses. Number one, people say he's gay, and people bring this up a lot, but I don't think it matters that much. I think most of the worry is cynicism from people who think Kamala has lost because of misogyny. She did not. She lost because she was too close with Biden, and Biden was unpopular. And also, polls should suggest that a candidate like Pete Buttigieg will do fine. I mean, gay candidates are the percentage of the American people who are willing to vote for a gay candidate has increased a lot over the years, and it's pretty high now, and those who wouldn't probably would never vote for a progressive, regardless of if they're straight or gay. And for what's going for him, he's intelligent, which, whether you like him or you hate him, you have to admit that, and I think that might help him a lot. He's charismatic, he's a great debater, he's a great communicator. It's all going to help him. So, starting off with the safe states, these are won by over 10% margins. Likely are going to be over 5%, and leans are going to be over 1%, tilts will be less than 1%. Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, D.C., Maine's 1st District were all safe blue states in 2024. Utah, Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's 3rd, Nebraska overall, Nebraska's 1st, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida were all safe Republican states in 2020. Now in 2020, I'm going to turn Texas, Alaska, Iowa, Ohio, Florida, Kansas, Kansas's 1st district, congressional district, on to be toss-ups for now. So let's get it. Starting with Maine. Maine's second went for Trump by about 9 points in 2024. And I think Pete will do much better among all voters than others. He's not like Gavin Newsom, who is a West Coast liberal. He's Western, who was in the military. He's probably going to appeal to them more. And also, I think he actually relates to Republicans. He actually talks to them, not through them. And so I think he'll do much better. He's among voters. I don't know. He definitely won't win them, but he will do much better than other Democrats. And I think in Maine's second, this is at least going to be a lean. Probably a tilt. I actually think this might be a tilt blue. Not by that much. It's going to be a very, very close one, but I do think it'll flip. And it's not just, I think if you just had a generic Democrat, by 2028, I think Trump's unpopularity will go down enough for that to be like a lean. Then I think Pete's charisma, his great overall appeal. I wouldn't say he won't win in them, but his greater appeal than other Democrats will probably hand it, and charisma, I think I already mentioned that one, will give him the win in May 2nd. And there's one more thing I want to mention. Pete specifically, constantly in interviews and such, talks about how we don't just attack Trump. We have to have our own policy. Knowing that it won't just be a full negativity campaign, I think that'll help him. And Maine overall, I think this will be a safe blue. And New Hampshire was a 2.8 for Harris, so I think this will be a likely in 2028. Virginia, it was a 5.8 for Harris. I think very low safe. Um, and New Jersey, 5.9 for Harris, also very low safe. New Mexico was a Harris +6. I think there'll be a low safe. Minnesota was a Harris +4.2. I think this will be a likely. And so Nebraska's second, first, and Kansas have shifted left because they have growing universities. I think Nebraska's second will go to a likely. So Nebraska's first is, I mean not, first shifted rapidly. Like if you look at like 2016 and 2020, it is a 20.7 for Trump to a 14.9 for Trump, which is a 5.8 shift. So about 6 points. Kansas was exactly 6 points from a Trump 20.6 in 2016 to a Trump 14.6 in 2020. So both by about 6 points for both of them, and I think in 2028 it'll be a much greater shift, especially someone like Pete, who greatly appeals to educated voters. So I think that will definitely be shifting. Kansas will be a likely Republican in my opinion, and Nebraska's first. Let's see, they're gonna. I think there'll be a high lean. Then Texas. Now they did undergo a great whiteward shift in 2024. However, I don't think that's gonna stay. That was because a lot of Latinos went for Trump, but I think they are starting to sour on him, and also urban centers like Austin, Houston, the suburbs, and the educated populace. That's all growing. So and also tariffs are definitely gonna hit Texas. And again, I think Pete's ability to talk to people, not through people, that's gonna help him in Texas. I think it is possible that we see something like this. I don't know that this is gonna happen. I do think that if Democrats wanted to flip a Republican state or district, Nebraska's first, Texas, and maybe Ohio, maybe even Iowa, could be great places to start. I don't, and so yeah. Again, I'm not saying that what was going to happen. I'm just saying that I think if they really wanted to flip one, that'd be where they want to go, and it would be possible. But I don't know. That would require things getting bad enough under Trump. Great, major policy agreements with Pete, or a little both, which I definitely think that can happen. I definitely think it's a possibility, and one that's not that unlikely. But I'm not gonna say that's gonna happen. Yeah. Anyways, Iowa. I think this will be a likely. Ohio. They have growing suburbs, which while those are generally independent, I think Pete is going to greatly appeal to suburban families, which that's a lot of the reasons why I think he's going to do great in 2028. There's a lot of reasons with his charisma and intelligence, where the country's going to be at in 2028, all that, but I think that definitely his suburban appeal is going to be important because that's where a lot of independents are. And I think this will be a high lean. Florida, I think, will be a likely. It doesn't appear to be getting any redder, even in good Democrat. Yeah, like since 2008, it's been shifting. Obama +2.8, Obama +0.88, Trump +1.2, Trump +3.4, Trump +13.1. It's not like Texas, which was shifting and then went way to the right, and I think it's gonna start shifting left again. But it's like I think it will have. I think this will be a leftward shift, but I don't think it'll be a very great one. I actually think this might be a low safe. Nah, I think a high likely. Alaska, I think a high likely. If we look here, okay. Anyways, yeah, okay. And so now to the swing states. Michigan. This is Pete's home state. Um, it's normally I'm not a big fan of home state advantage, but the difference is in swing states, if you're an independent and you're very, very about both sides, it will definitely help you. It might not take account the full way, like if it will only help him a bit, but in like if you just had one random independent to told him to vote, and like that's the information you gave, and but I think it makes it a little bit more open, which to a candidate, which can help them. I don't think it matters that much in non-swing states, and I don't think it matters a super big amount in swing states, but I do think it's there. I think Michigan will be a low likely or high safe. Or high lean. I think a very, 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 very low likely. Or maybe, I think a very low likely. Um, it could, yeah, I think a low likely. Like low, like just narrowly like a 5 point. Because even though it is Pete's home state, it is a swing state, but I still think it's very, yeah. Wisconsin normally tilt. Like for the past 3 elections, it's been a tilt. But I think it'll be up to a likely, a low, not likely, lean. I think it'll be a low lean. Pennsylvania, it's Democrats have a bit of a Pennsylvania problem, so this might actually be a red state. But I think it'll be a low lean. Georgia, this state has been shifting left, and so I think that'll continue, and this will be a lean. Arizona, it's got a lot of suburban voters that are going, and it's also got educated voters, and I think this would be a very low lean, like a very low lean. Oh, very high tilt. I think very low lean, like maybe a plus 1.2, maybe plus like 1.5. Nevada, it did shift right, and which was kind of surprising. It hadn't gone right since 2004 when it went for Bush, but in 2024, I think it was probably because of Latino voter switching, which I think again, like I think they are souring. So I think this will be a lean. And finally, North Carolina. I think it's definitely, well, actually, there are a lot of students in the Sun Belt, and that's meaningful. That will help Democrats, especially a Democrat like Pete. And also, if Harris in 2016, if Harris had the popular vote margins, if like the popular vote margins of 2016 were the same in 2024, then, but I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Somebody can explain this a lot better than I can, but for how well Harris did in those states, if the popular vote margin was shifted to be the same as 2016, she would have won. Even though in 2016, these were North Carolina was a 3.7 for Trump and Georgia was a 5.1 for Trump, but she would. Oh, I think it might have been it was either very close or one for Harris if she had the same popular vote as Clinton did in 2016. So I definitely think this can be a win. I think it might be a tilt, but I think it'll be a lean. So I mean, you can say that I'm overestimating Pete's abilities here, but keep in mind, I don't always think Democrats are gonna win. Newsom being a great example of that. Well, actually, I think with Newsom, I initially thought he would win, but then I was very mixed on like Michigan, and then and then a lot of people like nah. In the comments, then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, maybe he'll lose. So I did have one of my 3 predictions showing a loss, or technically 1 out of 4, but sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. I think somebody like Pete is going to do great. And I just don't think JD Vance is going to do good. I think Pete would do great. Like, those two combined leads me to this prediction. So, I hope you agree with. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.